with this idea that the BBC is somehow very pro-Palestinian. And that was one of the rationales behind the report, is that
Mhm.
hold on here. And on an anecdotal basis, everybody is looking at this and saying the BBC is very much anti-Palestinian in just in the framing of this whole thing. The fact that
Yeah.
this idea that there's two sides in all of this, there's, you know, this is an occupation of somebody's land. Thousands of Palestinians are being killed every year. Gaza, I mean, this has gone into tens of thousands. Some people are even saying hundreds of thousands. And yet there's this idea that the BBC is a pro-Palestinian. And so as an organization who's done these sort of major studies with facts and figures and really strong findings, which people have appreciated over the years, we thought we could engage, with the latest sort of AI technology to see whether this actually bore out the anecdotal stuff that was coming out from internally within the BBC. There's journalists within the BBC who have rebelled and actually tried to hold the seniors to account for what they found to be very anti-Palestinian coverage, rhetoric, and also just in terms of framing. And so we've put a lot of meat on some very substantial bones.
Okay. Thanks for that overview, Faisal. Let's look at your report. I have it in front of me. So let's look at your findings one by one. The key summary says that Palestinian deaths were treated as less newsworthy by the BBC. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So this was a year-long analysis. So it basically goes from October 7th all the way of 2023 all the way to October 7th, 2024. And one of the things we discovered was there's this sort of pattern of bias and double standards and just a silencing of Palestinian voices. So despite the fact that there's 34 times more Palestinian deaths, Israeli fatalities received 33 times more coverage per death. So, given this huge discrepancy between the number of people who were killed and died on the Israeli side compared to those that have been and are still being killed on the Palestinian side, we've at the time of publishing, we found that to be 34 times more for Palestinians, but Israelis were receiving 33 times more coverage per death. And so the statistics themselves just give this very clear imbalance.